less than 600 feet away.
Right. I know about the lights. I'm just concerned about the traffic trying to get out of there, with those trucks coming down at the speed that they come down. It just seems like it would be a dangerous exchange right there.
Of course, that's the case with all of the Campbellton Road.
Yeah.
So excuse me, I'm sorry I'm late to the party. I live right in that area. What is this that you're proposing on Campbellton and New Hope Road?
This is a subdivision going on.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Mr. Barnes. Sorry.
This is subdivision being proposed for the corner of Campbellton and Boat Rock.
Right there where that big hole is, immediately across the street from the gas station and the dry cleaners?
Yes, in that area. Behind there will be an entrance coming out where that hole is.
Cool.
And then there's another entrance further up Campbellton Road.
Further up Campbellton Road beyond the roundabout?
Yes. There's
near the roundabout.
Above the roundabout.
The roundabout you can see on the screens at the bottom of the see where the roundabout is.
No, can you point to the roundabout?
In correlation.
Is this the roundabout? Oh, there it is. There it is. I got it. I got it. So that's going to create a lot of traffic. I mean, we had sidewalks built and we had the roundabout built to calm traffic. And so people could walk to school and they could walk up and down New Hope Road and Campbellton Road. I walk my dog to the roundabout every day and I turn around and I come back. So you're talking about building a subdivision there?
It's a mixed use development and the property's been zoned for mixed use for 20 years.
Okay, and why hasn't
it won't have any
developed
effect
on for 20 years?
You got to have
the right opportunity presented itself.
Right, it's got to be a willing property owner and a willing developer, and the numbers have to work.
So to the developer, please, how many homes are you planning in this subdivision?
26 single-family detached homes and 91 townhomes.
And 91 townhomes. So right off the bat,
7,000.
I'm sorry?
7,000 square feet of office and retail space.
So automatically with 26 homes and 91 townhomes, we're going to have a minimum of 117 cars every day. In my subdivision of 158 homes, it was built in 1993 with ample two-car garages and very large, deep driveways that can accommodate 2 more cars. We have people with 4 cars in a driveway, parking on the street. So if you're talking about 26 homes and 91 townhomes, at minimum, that's 117 cars, but more than likely, it is going to be double that because everybody has at least 2 cars. Again, that kind of defeats our purpose of trying to calm the traffic and having sidewalks and a roundabout to improve our quality of life.
20 years ago, the community met with the ARC and we defined that as a mixed use commercial node. So this has been blessed for quite some time, and this property is already designated or zoned rather as a mixed use development. This is actually less impact than we were looking at quite some time ago.
Right, again, to the developers, please. 191 townhomes and 26 homes is a very dense amount of housing for that small area and for the traffic that will be coming up and down New Hope Road and Campbellton Road. At certain times of the day, it is already very difficult to get out of your subdivision. And like I said, I'm the first subdivision to the left, beyond the roundabout. It's already hard enough to get out of the subdivision at certain times of the day, whether you're going right or left. And so this is only going to add to the congestion. Even though it might have been approved 20 years ago, this is a new day. We
They're
didn't have
going-
sidewalks 20 years ago.
That is true, and our association worked with GDOT on the timing of the roundabout versus the sidewalks, and they weren't able to stagger it in a logical sequence. But at the end of the day, GDOT has the final say. It's their road, and it would be subject to their approval, what the final design is. But unfortunately, under the law, you can't deny a property owner getting zoning because of the perception of traffic. It's a state road. And actually, the initiation of our community association was quite some time ago, when GDOT had a plan to have a parkway where there'd be infrastructure in between the lanes left and right. And so thus far, all of the things that have been coming through the pipeline that are part of the vision for Sandtown Blueprint for 20 years have that traffic calming aspect in mind. Now, the city can deal with Boat Rock or New Hope, but Campbellton's a state road. So
I'm talking about New Hope. I'm talking about Boat Rock, Mr. Davis, and I am talking about Campbellton because I live right off of Campbellton. And I am simply saying that it is going to cause more congestion. I know the sidewalks won't be removed. I'm saying that they will not be pleasant to walk on if you've got more traffic than we already have. Because part of walking is being able to breathe clean air. And when you have more vehicles, you have more congestion. So yes, they're not going to remove the sidewalks that have been built. And I do walk in my subdivision, but I also walk out of it. I drive up and down New Hope Road every day when I go to the freeway or whatever, I go down New Hope. When I go other places, I go down Boat Rock. To me, again, it might have been blessed at one time. I'm talking about today. I've been in this community for 23 years. And if you were asking,
I'm down the street from the roundabout.
Right, I'm a little bit
years.
closer than you are, but we're not going to debate where you and I are because this is not our conversation. I'm talking to the developers. And I just wanted to get a clearer understanding about the rationale for this. And if you talk about bringing in retail or whatever at some point, that's even going to be more congestion.
Thank you, Ms. Hill. Ms. Marilyn, you have your
Yes,
hand?
my question is, and this is always my concern when you've got, my concern is always the width of the streets, because I'm always thinking, the driveways look like they were pretty long, so that you could probably get maybe 4 cars sitting in the driveway and maybe 2 in the garage. But my concern is if someone had to park on the street, and if there were 2 cars that were almost parallel to each other, and that were an emergency, would a fire truck be able to get down the street between those 2 cars?
I think we talked about this before some time ago.
Because I
And
always bring
the
it up.
answer was that these streets are as wide as the city. They're compliant with the.
And that's fine, but I'm still wanting to know, would the fire engine be able to get between the 2 cars, even though the streets are compliant? And the reason I ask that is over in Cascade, I think it's Cascade Falls, not the Cascade Falls down on Cascade Road, but there's another Cascade Falls that Horton, I think, built. And every time you go through there, and people's cars in the driveway and they're hanging off, and then other cars are on the street, you're doing good to get your car between the cars that are parked on the street. That's why I always ask that question. What happens if an emergency comes up, fire engine can't get through it, or ambulance can't get through it?
I think we talked about that when
Yeah.
we met with Brad previously. Maybe you weren't on the, call, the board had.
Yeah. To
Just
Mr.
ask.
Davis's point, I circled, I don't know if y'all can see it, but there's, guest parking, 3 different lots of about 10. So there's about 30 guest parking spaces, throughout here. But to your point, yes, this development and those driveways, 2 cars can park in the garage and 2 cars can park in the driveway, even a full size, Yukon XL, Expedition, Suburban
Yeah.
truck can park in the driveways and not the
No, I can't.
sidewalk, additional, you know, parking, throughout the subdivision. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and hopefully, we've helped eradicate some of that with the extra guest parking, and but all this is through the standards of the transportation department, code that they require.
Well, what I am seeing in my subdivision is, in addition to the people seem to be using garages for storage.
Mhm.
And even though there is room for 2 cars in the garage, 2 cars in the driveway, I see 4 cars in the driveway. I see 4 cars in the driveway and one on the street. And I just, you're automatically going to be looking at 100 and, almost 200 cars, because it seems like everybody is 1 car, 1 driver in the household.
Mhm.
Hey, guys, we do appreciate the discussion. We have 2 more hands up, Brad.
Oh, Nicole
Commissioner,
has her hand. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Rowell, and
Um,
Sneed following her.
I know we have a full agenda. I just want to kind of recap some of the concerns I heard from constituents that I think you need to probably look at. One, I hear there's concern about the density, that this may be too much housing. I think we also need to get some clarity about what GDOT will allow, because these curb cuts have historically been a big challenge. And even though it's conceptual, it might not go that way. So I think some kind of conversations or something from GDOT is necessary. Second, thirdly, I would say, based on your other community, I have concerns about the driveway widths, lengths, I should say, in your other community. They have long driveways, which I really appreciate, as well as the fact that these all have 2-car garages. That was one of the things I had expressed concern in the past on your previous project.
Yes.
So I want you to, kind of listen to what you've heard, and let's take a look. And I also heard the community's interest in seeing something about the elevations on these particular, whatever you propose.
Okay.
If I
Yes,
missed
ma'am.
something, somebody please let me know, but I think that's kind of it in summary. And so whatever you bring back, I'd like you to take all those things into consideration.
Yes, ma'am. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shay, Sneed.
Hey, it's Shay Steed.
Steve,
Um,
my apologies.
I think Councilwoman Rao might answer my question. I was gonna ask, was it 1-car garages for the whole complex, or is it 2?
It's 2 cars, 2 car garages on all of them. So you have 2 cars that can park in the garage, and the ability to have 2 cars park in the driveway and
Okay.
not hang to the sidewalk.
Okay. And another question, the commercial building, it looks like well, you put the map down, but I guess that second entrance on New Hope would be the entrance to that commercial property.
Either way, they could cut, get off King Rod, but the one off of New Hope is just a right in, right out. You can't turn left as of right now. That's not the way it's designed, unless transportation, says otherwise. So, they can come in, come and then turn right into it to go to the commercial. But to leave, they'd have to go out Hamilton and turn left onto Campbellton. So
any
Or
commercial there, that means that people that are not residents of the community would have to drive through the community to get to that commercial building. Is that what I'm seeing? I don't.
yes, ma'am. It's not. We don't have. Yes, ma'am. It's not blocked off or separated. It's designed to be able to for that to happen. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand. So I'm just looking at if it's commercial.
That's the way the zone.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah,
commercial.
that's the way the mixed use zoning calls for to have that kind of interparcel connectivity.
Okay, so they would have to drive through the community to get to the commercial.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Or they could come right off New Hope, and be on there.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Is it an immediate way to get to that building without going through the community? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I reshared my screen. Let me see.
Yeah, I can't see the
Okay.
screen, so that's why it's kind of hard to see it again.
And I'm sorry, how is the site currently zoned?
MIX mixed use.
Mixed use?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, again, I would just say 158 single-family homes in my community, 2-car garages, very deep driveways. A lot of people don't seem to use the garage, and we have a lot of issues with parking on the street, and even with 30 spaces. I mean, you're really going to be looking at 224 cars at minimum, because every home will have at least minimum 2 cars. That is what our experience has been, and we are a stone's throw from where you're proposing.
Yes.
Are there any more questions for Brad? Anyone? We'll take one more.
I'm trying to figure out where this is. I'm just so confused. If I'm on New Hope Road, I'm leaving Montclair Estate and I come out to the roundabout. Where do I turn, right or left to get?
It'll be on the left. So,
It'll be-
so that corner house, I think is gray with black shutters.
Mhm.
It's right there, right before you get to the roundabout. It's to the left. So it's wooded right now. But there is a house that's right before that. And if you're coming down Campbellton Road, if you're coming out of Promenade Oaks, it's right past that area and it's wooded right there currently. Does that help?
No, I'm confused about that New Hope. How does New Hope Road come into all of this?
So if you were
Part of
coming
it is
from
going to
like
be on New
Bruce
Hope.
Place, if you were coming from Bruce Place approaching the roundabout, it would be on the left-hand side right at the roundabout, really.
Okay, where that,
And that's
there's
where
like
that building is.
there's
Where
a
that's
drop.
Blue marking I just wrote. That's it.
Yeah. Where you see the commercial component is right there.
So, Councilwoman, is this the one right next door to Promenade that we talked about?
Yes. Yes.
This is before you cross the street to the
Yes.
other side. Oh, wow. So they would be my neighbors?
Yes. So the area you see backed up, those houses at the top, that's your subdivision.
No, thank you.
Okay, guys, Ms. Willis?
I just had a quick question. So I heard them say that there will be guest parking, but on top of the commercial, since I guess when other guests come in, so let's just say like if it's a Chipotle being built in there and somebody is coming to Chipotle, they would be sharing parking with somebody's guests, like the housing guests? Or will there be separate parking for the commercial people as well, separate from the residential guest parking, or is that all together?
It's separate.
It's separate. Okay, thank you.
Brad, any final comments?
No, sir. I appreciate your time for your ideas and suggestions and thoughts and feedback. We'll go back and consider that and see what we can do to incorporate all that into the site and get back in touch with y'all. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. Next up, second discussion regarding development will be coming from Dream Garden Atlanta. Is Quentin Head, Ty May, or Alexandria Robert on the call?
Yes, hey, how are you guys doing? And I'm sorry, it's Quentin Hurd. It was a
Quentin
typo.
Hurd. My
Yes.
apologies.
No
You
worries.
have the ability to share your screen if you need to.
Yes. We do have a presentation. Good evening, everyone. My name is Quentin Hurd. Thank you guys for having myself, Terry Francis, who is also my partner and co-founder of Dream Garden ATL, and also our partner at Silk City Car Wash, Alex Robert, who is all on the call today with you guys. The reason for us being on the agenda today is that we wanted to present some mural projects that we were going to be doing in partnership with Silk City Car Wash, and we thought it would be really exciting and great to present the pieces that we are going to create in partnership with Silk City, and also within our project Dream Garden ATL, which is a community-based and community-based and sustaining garden program that we were building throughout Atlanta. We are working through non-conventional green garden spaces. So we are building basically pop-up gardens in your non-conventional spaces. So rather than getting any acreage space, we are working with partnerships and businesses that have space. So that way we can introduce community-based gardening through education, small micro farmers markets. So that way there is a sustainability factor given throughout the city of Atlanta. Myself being a native and born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, I just see an opportunity with this project to, one, increase our aspects and being able to teach sustainability to the next generations, but then also really, again, to combat really what is a food desert issue in multiple parts throughout the Fulton County area, Atlanta area, metropolitan area as well, too. And this was where our team landed. Our background in agriculture comes from co-owning a 73-acre project out in Chattahoochee Hills for the last 5 years. And in that, we have gained the knowledge that we need to know how to, bring that education, to the masses versus the isolation to individuals in certain areas. From that program, we have built a project called Dreaming in Color, which at every garden, we usually introduce a mural-based project of some sort. Just because of the unique spaces, we usually have cement walls that we're working with from business backdrops. And what we want to do is we want to reutilize all the space that we have there. And so this Dreaming in Color project is a opportunity for us to engage again with, the art programs that our schools are, kind of diminishing and losing funding for on our own, dime and time. And so from that, we have created 2 murals that we are going to show today. The initial one is mural number 1 is basically a kind of, I would say, a collage or kind of a merger of what South Fulton and South Atlanta represents due to the fact that the last few years that South Fulton has taken a huge stride in becoming a great community, which you guys are doing an amazing job at. And just kind of showcasing and highlighting that the location and partner, Mr. Alex from Silk City, was a great inspiration and visionary when it came to this, due to the fact that he is doing a huge rebuild and reconstruct to the car wash located on South Fulton Parkway and Camp Creek Parkway. We were able to come together and collaborate and be able to see where there was a unique opportunity that he had a huge passion for the music and the arts, and where we felt where our organization, because we've done several mural projects throughout the city of Atlanta and other cities and municipalities as well, to come together with the Dreaming in Color program kickoff. And so since that, Alex has become our initial and first partner when it comes to our Dream Garden ATL locations and also our mural-based program as well too. I'm sorry, I was reading the question. Okay, sorry. So yeah, so really quickly, I'm just going to share my screen and the second mural. So we're doing two murals. They are 10 foot by 20 foot walls, 10 foot in height, 20 foot in width. Like I said, the first mural is the dedication basically to the South Fulton area and community just in development over the years through the course of its time. And then the second mural, we're doing a dedication mural piece. We are waiting to hear back from some respective parties in regard to what we're allowed to place on the mural. We want to do, some highlights to the music, arts, and things of that nature. And so we're waiting to hear back from respective parties until we announce what that one is going to be. But I have the first mural here to show. Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. And this is our rendering currently right now. And there are some key elements, obviously, that we will, take suggestions on, increase. But this is a, kind of a deep tie into from the jazz music, political aspect, the city, and obviously the Capitol being the center and focal point there. And again, we just wanted to show the evolution and kind of the symbolicness of where South Fulton has gone from a city, as you can see some early designs of South Atlanta there, as well too in the top left corner, and just a harmonious piece to kind of bring the community together. This piece will be a premier piece at the location. You will see it at the very beginning and the entrance of the location as well too. And this will be something, again, that we will work with certain entities on through our program, i.e. Westlake High School is one of the first schools that we are having conversations with working with some of their students in their art program to be able to give them opportunity to have some hands-on in this project, from shading to lining. And they're working with our muralist, who his name is Kawan Jones. And Kawan is also an art educating teacher in the South Fulton area as well too. So this is just, again, an opportunity for a great collaboration. We wanted to make sure that we were able to present and showcase this. I do have Alex on the line as well too, and also my partner Terry, if they'd like to kind of chime in regards to any of the upgrades that Alex has done, working through the community and just really, bringing it to light to the space and the arts and things of that nature. And Alex, if you have a second, you want to jump in?
Hey everyone, my name is Alexander Robert, and I'm the owner of Soak City Car Wash. I purchased Soak City about 2 years ago, and it took me about 2 years to really kind of get it together and get the vision and really put it together as a whole. I started out, I come originally from France, from Paris, and when I came to Atlanta, I thought, it would be great to give an homage to all the musicians that, really well known around the world that, their birthplace was in Atlanta. Since then, I am doing a remodel on October 28th. So that's going to consist of a brand new tunnel, brand new kiosks. We're going to be state-of-the-art equipment. The remodel is over $250,000. We're going to be shut down for about 7 days. And so together, I would love during those 7 days, maybe even a little bit earlier, to get started on this project. I am looking to be not only just a business, I want to be part of the community. I want to tie the community together. I have spoken to Principal Adams at Westlake High School in the past, and we're on very good terms. Unfortunately, I couldn't continue speaking to him because I didn't have the technology as far as what I wanted to do with a partnership with Westlake High School. So we pretty much got an understanding that after I do the remodel, that we will take back. We will go ahead and get back on track to what we had originally planned, and trying to get more of the community involved and be a part of the community and help out in any way we can.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Terry Francis. I'm the co-founder of Dream Garden and the creative director of the Dream in Color initiative. It's a pleasure to speak with everyone this afternoon. Just a little background. I have a creative design agency called Can I Kick It? And we're focused on the bridging the culture of sneakers and hip hop with the community. We're very active in the community, working with several nonprofits across Atlanta, and we're very active in the art space. We currently have about 4 murals that we've done in Atlanta over the last 4 years. The most notable is the TLC mural in Summer Hill that we did with the Elevate Art program about 2 years ago. Had a very, very huge event with the mayor, everyone out there. It was really nice. We're currently doing a mural with the city of South Fulton's Business Economic Center over on Old National District. We're going to be getting started on that mural pretty soon, so I'll make sure that we share the word on that when we do the reveal, because it'll be a big community event as well. So again, just a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to work with Quentin and Alex as well. We're very, very community oriented. We're very child oriented and youth oriented in that aspect, as art being that expression and that tool and being that bridge as well. So what we do is infuse the things that the youth are interested in at hip hop, sneakers, and culture, and use that as a tool to bring them in and impart the different things that we need to impart into them. So a pleasure to meet everyone. Thank you for your time.
Yes, and thank you guys again for your time. And if anyone has any questions or comments, we'll take them at this time.
Yeah, we do have a question from Miss Hill, but before she asks her question, I did post the mules inside of the chat if anyone needs to get a closer view, a larger view of them.
And really quickly, that second mural that you posted, we won't any longer be doing that design after we've had conversations with different community leaders, and we were going with our plan B, which was a dedication mural, which we aren't revealing yet due to the fact we want to make sure that we talk to the respective parties before releasing that information.
Okay, I removed it.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Hill?
Quick question.
Yes.
And I'm sure the city of South Fulton or the council will approve the mural? Is that how that works? Your final design?
So we have gone through the steps and process. There is necessarily no approval for the mural.
Okay.
We've gone through every department. We've spoken with council representatives. And so this was a point of our way of being proactive to make sure the community is involved with understanding and knowing what's going on in the community. We have submitted all of our murals and our designs, and this is where they guided us to be able to come to express this.
Okay. Well, just a quick question. We are the city of South Fulton.
Correct.
Will that be anywhere? I see South Atlanta and South Fulton, but will our proper name as it is now, the city of South Fulton, appear anywhere?
Yes, of course. This is a rendering of it, and as I stated earlier, any minor changes, wording, text, imagery, we're able to change and kind of go through that. We wanted to get some feedback, so that's great feedback to get. We can put the city of South Fulton into there as far as the text and title is concerned. I do have, I guess, questions in regards to with the city of South Fulton logo or anything of that nature. Would that would that be something that we want to be seen or represented? And if so, how will we go through the process and steps on that?
I defer to our councilwoman on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
She has her hand up next.
I want to at least thank the owner for kind of listening to the community. I know I got a lot of feedback on the original mural that was on the gas station. And one of the things I encourage is to get input from the community. And I think they have been working with Ty Mays, who was on the Public Art Commission, which is,
Yes.
I think, what they talked about in terms of evolving what was originally proposed as opposed to what you see here. But what I will say is, and this is just my gut reaction, It gives me Atlanta vibes and not South Fulton vibes, to be honest. That's just my initial thought. And, you know, we have quite a few leaders who live in our city, and I don't mind giving you a list, but like John Lewis lived in the city of South Fulton. I would have liked to seen, you know, if we're putting, you know, any kind of nod to leaders, I would like it to be ones who are from South Fulton, include music artists. So that's just that's my general reaction.
Yes, we would most definitely welcome that feedback, and you know, we'll be more than interested in you know, having input with the artist. The artist that is working on this, Kawan Jones, he's actually a art teacher in the city of South Fulton. I can't recall the school, Quentin, you may remember, but he is very big on. He's an Atlanta native, lived here all his life. So not only is he very big on Atlanta culture, but because he teaches art at that school, you know, he's very big on the city of South Fulton as well. So we would be more than welcome to any feedback of that nature, and, you know, look forward to getting something that everyone can you know, have a part in.
Okay.
And
Thank
just
you.
one thing I wanted to let folks on the call know, if you don't know, we have a new business up there. You have the Grease Monkey. The owner is putting a lot into that car wash. If you haven't seen, every time I go, it's improving. So I just really appreciate that. And I just wanted to say that it's come a long way.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very beautiful artwork. Can you identify the people currently? You said this may change, correct?
Yes, correct. So
Okay.
this is initially just some faces. So it's not
Okay.
there is no unique representation here yet. The reason why is that when we're doing artwork and art pieces, a lot of times that there are certain estates from figures that you have to kind of get approval, and you want to get approval from, especially if there's legacy pieces involved. So what we can do is that we would definitely love to go through that list, whichever can be presented to us, and then we would take our steps again to be proactive. Just due to our time frame of doing this, we've gone through a lot of understanding pieces on how to make sure that we're doing it the right way and that everyone's represented in the light of which they wanted to be. So what we do a lot of times is that we use this as a kind of a framework, and then we get really into the details of who we want to represent there and how they should be represented, and then reaching out to appropriate parties to make sure that we can get that, either whether it's as little as a thumbs up or if we need to do some official paperwork. So yeah, we would love to get more feedback into who South Fulton wants to see there, because again, we want this to be a community piece where the reflection of the work that has been put into South Fulton is seen. So we would definitely be open to any and everyone that you guys would love to see, and we would take that into consideration through our current schedule that we have, like Alex mentioned, and try to get it done as soon as we possibly can. So any assistance in that, we would love as well too.
Thank you so much. And thank you for your business in the community. I have been there, and the people that work there are very professional.
Thank you so much. Alex does a great job. Yeah, he's working his butt off to make it happen.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys, for presenting. I like the artwork. Looking forward to the final rendering. Next up.
Thank you.
Next up, our third and final developer presentation for tonight will be coming from Randy Pimsler. Is that right? Did I pronounce that right, Randy?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Randy, you have the ability to share any documents that you want.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. I'll go ahead. Good evening, everyone. My name is Randy Pimsler. We have a small architectural firm in Atlanta, and this evening we are representing a project that is proposed by Barefoot Land, and there are a few folks from Barefoot Land on the call this evening. Brady McDonald, Brandon McDonald, and Jessica Corthals, and they'll be able to answer some project-specific questions should I not be able to. The proposal that we'd like to share with you this evening is in a preliminary design stage. We're very interested in gathering feedback from your community. The location of the property is this highlighted yellow area. This is Fulton Industrial, and this is Riverside Drive. Stowe Company is located across the Riverside in this area. There's a multifamily development, existing multifamily, Riverside Park Apartments to our south and east. The proposal that we would like to speak to you about is a mixed-use development. And we, a little over a month ago, spoke with the planners in the city of South Fulton, and they suggested that we have conversation with Councilperson Rowell. We spoke with her a couple of weeks ago, and then we were encouraged to present this concept to your organization, even though the property is not within the confines of the Sandtown, community itself. And even though it's not located in your community, both our development team and Councilperson Rowell really would like to gather your input and feedback as constituents of the South Fulton community. So with no further ado, jumping in here, the project is proposed to be a mixed-use development. There would not be a curb cut at all along Fulton Industrial. We would enter the property off of Riverside Drive through a curb cut here. And the portion of the property highlighted down here could be live, work, or townhome type structures. And then a retail or office, commercial, restaurant, etc. development up here on the corner. And then 2 storage facilities flanking Fulton Industrial. We have some images of what this might look like. Hopefully this gives a little better context, if you will, for the proposed development. Again, Riverside here and Fulton Industrial at the top of the page. The commercial retail development on the corner. We really wanted to make sure that this proposed development offered some benefits to the community rather than just being a single type of development. Townhomes are down here adjacent to the multifamily. We thought that was a logical transition, and it does appear that there's an ongoing need for a variety of housing styles in the city. And then these are the storage facilities. We've broken those up into a couple of structures to reduce the impact on the along Fulton Industrial. This is an image of the possible retail commercial space that you would see at the corner of the intersection. Another image, this would actually be what you would see as you made the right-hand turn or as you approached Riverside from Fulton Industrial. And an aerial view, kind of contextual. The townhomes here, the apartments are not shown here, but this would be the retail commercial space and then the storage facility in the background. Another view kind of capturing the townhome or live work structures. And this is the storage facility itself. Some images of that. And then some images of the townhomes. They would have parking in front of each townhome and then a single car garage for each of the townhomes. And that's kind of it. We appreciate the opportunity. The property is currently zoned, mixed zoning. There are conditions on the property, and a storage facility would require a special use permit. So the advice that we received from the planners in the city are that it probably makes the most sense to rezone the property and get the use for the storage facility approved in the mixed zoning. And then the other use is the multifamily down here, and the retail and commercial are all approved uses that would comply with the mixed zoning. So we would appreciate any comments that y'all might have. We have not filed an application as of this time. We are prepared to do that, but would really appreciate comments, questions, and any suggestions that y'all might have for the development team at this time. And again, we appreciate you all very much, and thank you for your time this evening.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. This is Stephanie Hudson. I would just like to say we really don't need any more storage. What we really need is something with wholesome entertainment. We don't have any type of entertainment like bowling or anything for families, children, skating. We have none of that here. And I don't think we need any more storage. There's plenty of storage around. And we have the townhomes of Sandtown crossing that's down Campbellton Road. They're building townhomes up the street on Riverside. And then we have the proposed townhomes that are coming. The gentleman made the presentation off Boat Rock and Campbellton. So maybe if you could deviate a little and have something like cottages or something a little different, because again, we do have people that do want to downsize, and we're just inundated with townhomes. And I understand the reason for it, because you guys save space and all of that with townhomes. But I just think it's an opportunity to do something a little different. I'll be happy to, maybe send you over some ideas for something. But there's another need. We don't need storage. That's my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hudson.
Oh, also,
you're muted, Ms. Hudson.
Also, if you do something, maybe consider garages in the back, in the rear, instead of the front. And we definitely need 2-car garages in this community.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Any other questions or comments? Going once, going twice. Thanks, Randy, for joining us tonight and making your presentation. You have any final comments?
No, we appreciate y'all very much, and look forward to following up. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Next
Good
up.
night.
Thanks. Good night. Next up, we have Ms. Warren. Are you still on? I know you did join us.
I am, Mr. Barnes. How are you today?
I am good. I am good. And you, we still have Ms. Warren, who's about to present now. We also have our council members, Rao and Gomes, to present, and we have our representative, Mr. Bruce, on the line tonight as well. So we still have a few more presentations, and we'll start off with Ms. Warren.
Thank you. So I'm coming back from last month where we talked a little bit about safety. As you guys know, the Appalachia shooting up in Winder, Georgia. The school system, we always are trying to actively make sure that we are on the cutting edge of safety for those parents who attend Westlake High School. Westlake High School has been having metal detectors for the last couple of weeks. One of the things that I wanted to talk to parents about is we are finding that after the midst of mass shootings, that there is a trend with students and with adults for them to fake call in acts of violence. This has been happening for years. But one of the things that has disturbed me, we've had children as young as 9 years old post on social media that they are threatening schools. And I just want to caution parents and adults as well, because we have taken a firm hand and our city municipalities have also. And there have been several students, children, adults who have been arrested for this. I don't know what else we can tell parents, but it is a serious offense. And what we find is not only that they call these in, but they post them on social media, then people repost and it's reposted and reposted. And so one of the things that we've, as a school system, as we work with all our municipalities, and we've had more instances of this happening up north, but there have been some down south, is that taking the kids, getting them off social media, but also if you see a threat, you not reposting it. I'll give you an example. At one of our high schools, a parent saw a threat and a parent called the city of South Fulton police to come and handle the threat. It wasn't a threat. It was just somebody put on the internet. So really trying to educate our children and our parents and our community about, if you see a threat, we have a 411 line. If you go on our Fulton County website, you put it on. We have people who are employed full-time with doing nothing but investigations, and not to repost it, but to let us know. In the same vein of school safety, I've gotten a couple of calls about the old Westlake building about activity at night. And so there have been a couple of federal agencies that used it about 2 weeks ago. And they had their helicopter out there and I got lots of calls about it. We were not aware they were going to use it beforehand, but once they needed to use it within the hour, they let us know. But I wanted to let the homeowners know that if you saw that, but if you see something on that property, it's right next to the current Westlake, please, please, please reach out to us. You can shoot me an email. We always send it through our police captain, but I wanted to make sure that people knew about that because I did get several calls. This was right after Appalachia and people were nervous. I would be nervous too if I saw a helicopter and unmarked vehicles at one of our school sites. But they were training for an activity. Something happened on Merck Road and they couldn't use their facility like they needed to, and they needed to use ours. So I'm going to pause right there in case there are questions about school safety or about the old Westlake, any activity they're seeing over there.
A quick question. Is it
Yes, sir.
really, do we receive a lot of threats at Westlake, or are we getting fake threat calls at Westlake?
Most of it's fake. And what we find is the people who are making the threats are usually not in the community. I'll give you an example. There's a thing called swatting where there are groups who identify schools and they call in fake, they call the police for them to come and to, like, there's been a school shooting. I don't know I don't know why people do it. I don't know. But usually when we get them called in, they don't even live in the community. The ones that we have had, it usually is going to be around social media. So really some girl on girl drama if there's a threat, but it's not really a threat to the school. It's a threat to a person or somebody is into some situations. But since I've been in this seat for 4 years, a threat to Westlake, we haven't had one. We've had student altercations, but we haven't had a threat to Westlake. But right after Appalachia, probably about 2 days, you just start to get these. And really it becomes somebody will put it on next door, somebody will and they just keep sharing it and sharing it and sharing it. And now, I mean, that's what we do. We have police officers to investigate, but I just want to caution parents because the ones that we've seen since Appalachia, the ones that are in Fulton County, they're younger children, or they're middle school children. They are, the parents usually have no idea until a municipality police officer comes knocking at the door. And it's really steep consequences for that. So I just want to urge parents. It's almost like when we were growing up and people pulling a fire alarm to get out of class. And so we just want to caution kids on knowing the impact and what happens when false threats are called in.
Thank you.
So Any other questions about school safety and or night activity at the Old Westlake? I will say this, we have had a lot of questions about what we do, how we do things, along with our full-time police department, along with our metal detectors, along with our badges around our neck, along with our alarm doors. And we're continually having the conversations about what more we can do. And one of the things that we have been in talks with the governor, I don't know what's going to happen at this next legislative session, is talking about possibly trying to have metal detectors in all of the schools, 612 across the state of Georgia, and what incentives district can have for those. They're not 100%, but they are something. But also, if you look at the case of the student in Appalachia, he came from another school district. And he had called in a threat to the current school district he was at. And so we have taken a very hard stance around any type of violence, but just also urging parents that if you see something, say something. If you see a child that seems out of place, something's not right, please, if you don't want to tell anybody in the building, go to our website. It's anonymous. You can leave a tip and we can investigate it. The next thing that I want to talk about is we are in the design stage for the new Camp Creek Middle School. We are hopeful to have the design finished within this year. We have a committee full of community people who are going through the process of the rebuild. We will right now be rebuilding on site. And so once that school is finished, we suspect that it'll go up instead of out just because of the landmass. But we're excited to see where that goes. This is in addition to, we have S.L. Lewis currently still being rebuilt. That's about another year on that. And we have Conley Hills, which will be done. I'm sorry, S.L. Lewis will be about 2 years, a year and a half, and Conley will open next spring. The superintendent has proposed 2 schools, and one in East Point, one in Sandy Springs, for closure. We don't have a decision on that. It will not happen until February, but it's the same process that we've always used. And to go from there. About a week ago, we opened our newest high school, which is the Promise Career Institute. This is our high school in downtown College Park. It is focused on kids leaving high school with 2 associate degrees. They offer several majors, one which is cybersecurity. So kids would leave there with 2 certificates as they go into the real world. It was a beautiful program. We hosted about 300 people there, and we probably have about 400 students there that come from around the district. That is all that we have right now. We have our regular work session starting next week, next Tuesday, and our board meeting, which will happen the following week. And my next community meeting will be at Renaissance Elementary School. Shout out to Westlake High School and Global Impact Academy. We have 2 students from those schools who is on the governor's student advisory committee. So that's pretty exciting for us. They're the only 2 students in Fulton County who were chosen. And also our graduation rate has grown. It went from 90.4%, this is all of Fulton County, to 90.6%, if I'm thinking right. I don't have it in front of me. So we are continuing to grow in our graduation rate. So I'm gonna pause because that was a lot, and see if anybody had any questions. As always, I will not see you guys before not Thanksgiving, I'm sorry, Halloween. Every year at our high schools, we offer a big trunk or treat. Please bring your child out or community can come out to Westlake High School, Langston Hughes High School, Creekside High School, and we really have a fun trunk or treat for the kids. It's safe, it's fun, and it's all student driven. So we look forward to seeing everybody in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Oh, and I have one more thing, I'm sorry. Last year, there was lots of conversations about the cell tower, and the cell tower that is currently on top of A. Philip Randolph. They have renewed their subscription with us, so it's going to stay there. And I asked the company who renewed it, do they have plans on upgrades? So once I get an answer on that, I will send it to Miss Deborah and go from there. But I did want to tell everybody that the cell phone tower will be there for a set number of years. I just don't know what upgrades they have designed for it, if any.
Okay, thank you.
And
Any
I'll put
questions?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Any questions for Ms. Warren? Going once, going twice. Ms. Warren, any final thoughts, comments?
Just thank you, everybody, for all your support of our schools, Westlake High School, just all the community support. You guys really are the MVPs because you guys call us if something's going on. You guys support. You guys really, really make Westlake a community school, and Sandtown and A. Philip Randolph and Stonewall Tail a community school. So we just want to say we appreciate you and we thank you for your advocacy.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Next up, Councilwoman Rawl, District 1.
Good evening, everybody. First off, I want to thank everybody who came out for our D1 bingo night that we just had. We had about 200 residents come, so we had a full house. In addition, we have a lot of community events coming up. Some were the result of being rescheduled due to the storms. I put a couple flyers in the chat to point out things that you may need to be aware of. First of all, the police department is doing a Citizens Academy, so you understand the inner workings of the police department. If you're interested, I want to encourage you to go ahead and submit your application. That class begins October 9th, and I would like to see some residents from District 1 participating in that process. We've also set up a safe exchange zone. People purchase, items from other individuals, and we want to make sure those exchanges are safe. So our community policing unit has set it up where if you want to arrange to exchange goods, you can do it at a police precinct. And so the Roosevelt Highway precinct has been designated as that location. That flyer is in the chat, and I'll be including it in my newsletter. In addition, we have a Faith and Blue Festival coming up October 11th at Shalom Church. That is a citywide event in partnership with the police department, where faith leaders work in collaboration with our police department. This is, I believe, we've done it since we've been a city, or launched shortly thereafter our existence. We came into existence. So if you get an opportunity, come through and participate in that event. And for our small business owners, in partnership with the UGA Small Business Development Center at University of Georgia, we have a series of business development workshops to help, grow our small businesses and ensure that they have the fundamental skills they need to be successful. These classes are free of charge, and they'll be running through November 14th. The flyer is in the chat. And last but not least, one of the events that I included in my most recent newsletter was the En Blanc soiree in partnership with Sandtown. That event has been postponed to the spring, but we are going to have a music in the park. I've put that flyer in the chat on November 2nd. So if you're not doing anything, come on out and enjoy some music in the park. That basically concludes my event wrap-ups, but I do want to let you know about a couple, updates. We have a running shoe store coming to Sandtown Crossing. It will be in the place of where the Allstate agency was located. Unfortunately, they didn't make it in that location. And so another business is going on in that space. And it's owned by one of our residents here in the city of Southwood. And Rick Ross is opening that location. It's a shoe store for athletic shoes, running shoes. And so we will be doing a grand opening on that. In addition, one of the things you should know, and I've included this in my newsletter, there's a whole effort focused on the redevelopment of food and industrial. And one thing I think y'all have heard me say, if I don't do anything before I leave this office, is we gonna get food and industrial cleaned up. And so food and industrial circle, we saw the demolition of 2 hotels that had probably been standing there, I don't even know how long, but they have been demolished. And there's currently a RFP on the street where developers can propose to redevelop those sites. That is the first set of demolitions that will occur. The others will actually be on food and industrial, where you see the McDonald's, the old Valero location is gated off now, but that also will be coming down and repositioned for redevelopment. So we want to make sure that our entrance into the city off of food and industrial is pristine. So stay tuned. I'll continue to keep you updated on those developments. And a couple of things you should know, we've done some major improvements in Trammell Crow Park here lately. Recently adding a canopy over the workout stations that got installed during the pandemic. We have did some tree trimming throughout the park, new picnic tables, a number of things. And of course, we rebuilt the tennis court. So Trammell Crow is looking great if you're looking for a place to have family picnics, reunions, those kind of things. And work has also begun on Sandtown Park, which needed a lot of love. You've probably seen the demolition of, I guess, where the grilled area. They'll be doing new decking. They'll rebuild the skybox out there. All the pavilions will be painted. They've already delivered the new picnic tables. But I'm just saying that all to say you're going to see significant investment in Sandtown Park. The contractors are already, contracted, and they started some of that work. So stay tuned. We're looking forward to the improvements coming there as well. And if there aren't any other questions, I'm sorry, the park ranger's office at Sandtown Rec Center. We're gonna have a grand opening at that space. It was rescheduled. And so please know that I'm very excited that we'll have our park rangers having an ongoing presence in the park, as well as Sandtown Rec Center. They'll actually be on the lower level. They have a space that's been built out for them. And so I think that's really important to make sure we have positive interchange between our police officer and our youth. So I'm really excited about that. I'll open it up if anybody has any questions.
We have 2 hands, one from Ms. Hill and follow up by Harvey. Mr. Davis, Ms. Hill.
Have the food trucks started yet? I was so excited about that. Have they started at the government center? And can anyone go for lunch and just go to a food truck, or is it just for city employees?
No, for anybody. They're marketing it to the entire city as well as to the businesses on food and industrial until we actually get some more food restaurants along food and industrial to try to change it up. So they have, and everybody is pretty excited about that. I don't know how I missed talking about the EV vehicles. We have rolled out a whole fleet of vehicles for the city. If you haven't checked it out, check out the video on the city's Facebook page. We have a number of electric vehicles, and so just continue to move southward and forward.
Thank you.
Harvey, you had a
Thank you.
question?
Yes,
You're welcome.
I was wondering about the Music in the Park event. Is that the one with Kebby Williams?
No, that's not their entertainment for that. We have a series of events, and I've been including them in the newsletter about events that are coming up at Wolf Creek. This is at Sandtown, in the subdivision in their Common Green area.
Right.
Sandtown Center.
Yeah, Harvey, you're welcome to come and partake. We're doing things big in Sandtown Center.
Yes.
Any other questions for Councilwoman Rao? Councilwoman Rao, thank you.
Okay.
We can't say it enough. Whenever we call, whenever Sandtown Center calls, you are always there, and we thank you.
You're welcome. Glad to
Ditto
do it.
for Promenade Oaks.
Anyone else? Any other questions for Councilwoman Rao? Going once, going twice. Any closing remarks, Councilwoman Rao?
Nope.
Next up, Councilwoman Grums. I didn't see her name. Did she join tonight?
Her assistant said she wasn't gonna be able to make it, but I thought he was gonna brief us himself.
Is he on?
Brandon?
I didn't
Oh,
see
yeah.
him. Brendan, are you on?
I see Brandon's AI, no, something.
I don't think he's in, but,
Okay.
I'll just
Okay.
say one thing for her. If y'all haven't noticed, the sidewalk project on Enid Road is looking amazing by the library. Lighting will be added along Enid Road. And our section of Enid Road is budgeted to tie in and have continuous sidewalks from Campbellton to Stonewall Tail along Enid Road. That's just something we can be really excited about. And if you haven't been to Wolf Creek lately, the city has recently repaved all the parking lots, so no more gravel parking lot at Wolf Creek. The city has continued to do investments in Wolf Creek, and we're looking forward to increasing our offerings that will be at Wolf Creek as we prepare really for next cycle. But over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we have about 3 or 4 events. So check them out in my newsletter if you're interested in attending. You can purchase. I always provide the link if you want to purchase tickets.
Just one quick question for you, Commissioner, Councilwoman Rao, before you go. Are we close to having a conversation about sidewalks from Westlake to Fulton Industrial? Not Fulton Industrial, but Campbellton Road?
Absolutely. We actually have it. That was one of my funding requests for fiscal year 25, which just began October 1st, literally a couple days ago. We have money budgeted for sidewalks and road widening along Riverside and Union. We've been talking about that for a while, but it's actually in the budget. So we're super excited about that.
Right. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Well, next up, our representative, Roger Bruce. I apologize if I didn't follow protocol and not recognizing you as a state official before going to city. Forgive me.
You're on mute.
Okay, it's not a problem at all. We all work together, and the city council is doing a wonderful job in this city, and I'm very proud of how this city has come along. As you know, I was instrumental in getting us the opportunity to have the city. So to see it go is like seeing your baby grow. And so thank you to all of them for the work that they do. For those of you that have not already heard, I have decided not to run for reelection. And my term of office ends the 10th of January. And the primary reason why I chose not to run again was because they redrew the district lines, and most of the 61st district is now Cobb County. And we are a very small part of what was our district. And the person that's going to replace me, they've already gone through the primary, and it's going to be a person from Cobb County. I'm trying to encourage her to come down here and meet people. She is a school teacher. She teaches math in the Cobb County school system. And it's going to be interesting to see how that works out, because they've already told her that she cannot keep her job and be in the General Assembly at the same time because of the amount of time it takes for her to be away from school. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but I am not going to disappear. For some of you, you probably were hoping I was going to disappear, but I'm not. And the reality is that I see all this like a baseball game. You got 9 players on the team, and all 9 players want to win the game. But if I'm the first baseman and the ball gets hit to third base and I run to third base to catch it, I'm in the third baseman's way and my base is not covered. So I just want to play a different base. There's, you know, a lot of things out here that need work, that need to be done. And I just want to do something different and bring our community along. For those of you that have known me, I've been in office for 22 years. And I appreciate your support. That's a long time to be taking a lot of abuse. And but the reality is that, you know, I appreciate the opportunity to serve, and I will continue to serve, but just in a different capacity. There are a couple of pieces of legislation. As you probably know, the session is 2 years long. And at the end of the second year, whatever bills are not passed, you have to start all over again. And there were 2 bills that I was working on that I've, you know, gotten some other people to say that they're going to pick up on when the session starts back up. One dealt with reparations. It is my thought that, you know, our ancestors, they were enslaved, and they were given the heritage, if you want to call it, of dependency. They passed on to us. Most of us on this call, those of us that have hair my color, your parents told you to go to school, get a good education, so you go beg somebody for a job. I mean, they didn't say it that way, but that's what it amounted to. And you work for them, you know, through your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, maybe even to your 50s, and then they decided that, you know, we don't need you anymore. So now you got to go try to find something else to do. So I taught my kids, go to school, get a good education so that you can do whatever you choose to do. And so part of my inspiration when I was trying to get the city up and running was to give us an opportunity to be able to set our own destiny, set our own course, and own our own businesses. One of the things that I want to encourage, you know, my 2 council members that are on to consider, you know, we don't own all of this land out here. We own some of it, but we don't own all of it. So if there was a way to offer some kind of an incentive to the landowners as they are developing the land to partner with somebody that actually lives in the city, and to encourage opportunities for us to be able to create ways that we can send wealth from one generation to the next and get rid of this customer dependency. We got to do something different. So that's one piece of legislation that we're working on. Another one deals with voting. As you know, right now, during early voting, you can vote at any polling place in your area. And but on election day, you got to go to a specific spot. So if you work on one side of town, you got to leave work or take off from work, you know, drive to the other side of town. And the legislation that I proposed would be to allow you to vote at any polling place on election day, as well as early voting, to make it easier for you to vote. That's what we're trying to do. And there is a project that I've been approached about, and that's why I asked the question earlier, on Eden Road. They want to put a Kroger over there. If you guys know about the Kroger they want to put over there?
No.
Yeah, right there at that corner. When you going down Camp Creek Parkway, excuse me, and you make a right onto Eden Road, you got all 4 corners are empty. They want to put something right there. And they came to me because they wanted me to help them get a curb cut. And my first reaction to that was that I wasn't going to do that. And the reason that I wasn't going to do it because I saw the plan that they had, and it's just another square box, so to speak, with the grocery store and businesses alongside it and a big old parking space. We don't need that anymore. We need places that beautify our community, that make our community a place when people come there, they say, wow, and they do it. So what I told them was that we came up with some ideas, where you would keep a lot of the trees. You can still put your Kroger over there, but the Kroger is amongst trees. There's spaces where you can actually sit out there if you want to. It's a destination point. It's not just a grocery store, and that the parking would be behind the building, so that the front of it looks different. It looks peaceful. It looks pleasant. And they have asked me to take a trip with them up to South Carolina to look at something that they did up there that supposedly resembles what I've been talking to them about. And so I'm gonna take a look at it, but I'm not going to, I can't even promise them that I could get them a curb cut, but I'm not even going to try if they're going to build just another box. I just don't want to see that. So that's what's going on. And then what I am going to continue is the Family Fun Day. Some of you have been out to that. It's the Saturday after Mother's Day each year. I will continue to do that until I run out of money. And but we stock the lake out there, and we provide fishing poles for the kids that come. Last year, Catherine, you were out there. I think we had at least several thousand kids over the course of the day, and so we'll continue to do that. And then we have a Tuesday walk that we do at that park. If anybody wants to walk, again, Catherine has been out there with us. There's beautiful trails out at that park, and it's right down the street from us. So we go over there every Tuesday morning at 8:45, and we walk till about 10:30 and through the trails. So we'll continue to do that. But again, I wanted to just really take this opportunity to say thank you. It's a pleasure to serve the community. I served as PTA president in the two schools that my children went to over here, and then I served in the General Assembly. And people are trying to get me to run for office in the city of South Fulton, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm not planning on it anyway. And so Marilyn, don't worry about it. You don't have to deal with me no more. But the bottom line to it is I hope that you feel that I've done my best, and I will continue to do my best as we go forward. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and God bless all of you.
Any questions? Any comments?
This is Delphine. I don't know if you can hear me, your friend, and I just personally wanted to thank you for your service and for all your support and your years. I love you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, I hope the rest of the folks on here do too. I know Marilyn had her moments when she wanted to shoot me, but but I know she knows that my heart was in the right place the whole time. I don't mean to call you out, Marilyn, but she's there, so I can.
It was all for the good of the community. It all worked out. How about that?
It did.
We still love you.
Good.
Anybody else? Any more comments? Well, until you leave office, thank you for all that you've done for us and all that you plan to continue to do. We really
thank you. And if it's something that you need, because you're probably not going to be able to get hold of this lady out in Cobb County too much. I still have the relationships down there at that Capitol. So if there are things that you need and you can't get hold of her, still call me. I have no problem with calling those that I know and trying to get help wherever we need help. So, and I'll try to get her to come out here, but it's a long ways from Cobb County.
Right. We appreciate that. Next up, Miss Marilyn, you have anything?
I'm fine. Just want to let everybody know that I was glad to see everyone who came on tonight, all the comments and so forth that they made to the developers and so forth. That's what we need, and that's what they need to hear from us. Thanks to Councilwoman Rowell, because she's always been there from the very beginning. And so she's got our back too, so we're all good. And to let you know that if you want to send your dues to the community, $25 per person, $40 for family, and $50 for any organization. We appreciate it. And you know, that money goes toward the registration for the state of Georgia, for our internet, for our call-in post, and for our post office box. And so we appreciate every last one of you who've come out. It just seems like back in the day. That's what it seems like right now. Back in the day.
Thanks, Ms. Marilyn. Harvey, I'm sorry, Dan. Did Dan join us tonight?
Make it.
Harvey?
Yes, I was just gonna say, as far as transportation and the like, our councilwoman Catherine has pretty much brought us up to speed. And I was excited to see on VidNet the listing for the traffic light that's coming to Danforth and Cascade Road. City's doing so much around it, I can't half keep up with it.
Join the club.
Yeah, we're growing. We're growing. Anything else, Harvey?
No, I just would like to share how development happens and how successful we've been most recently since we've become a city. But some of this stuff has been in the pipeline for ages. Long before Sandtown Crossing and the roundabout, the sidewalks on Campbellton, those are efforts that took decades to happen. It's just encouraging to see that the city's making up for all of the condition of the roads and facilities that the county didn't take care of when they knew they were going to get out of that business. So anyway, I thank you all.
Thanks,
Have
Harvey.
a great evening.
Thanks, Harvey. Any questions, any comments from anyone? Any last minute thoughts from anyone? It is now 8:14. We'll take about 5 minutes to address any questions, any comments. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? If not, guys, thank you a lot for joining our community meeting tonight. It has been wonderful. Thank you for all the efforts that you do in making sure that Sandtown continues to strive. If there's any questions, any comments, please reach out. We do have the recording for the meeting, as well as you can always reach out to our council persons, Ms. Grom, Dr. Rao, Representative Bruce, or anybody on the Sandtown board, community association board, to assist you with any questions or comments you might have. But other than that, that's everything. Thank you guys a lot. Looking forward to our next meeting in November.
Right.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.